Welcome to another episode of the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Let us be the Crispy Noodle in your vegetarian salad of life and boring news, folks. It's our job to give you the most interesting bits of world sports, entertainment, odd news, and what else we happen to stumble across. Isn't that right, Mike?
That's right. We bring it to you with our unique sense of humor and wackiness. You never know what you're going to get here on the Crispy Noodle Podcast.
That's right. We have a couple topics prepared for you this week in the world of sports, entertainment, and odd news. Before we get into all of the crazy headlines and things that we have to talk about, we like to do a little personal bit, let you know what we've been up to since the show last week. Give you a little personal recap as to what we've been up to. So, Mikey, my friend, how you doing? First off, I see you represent Mass Effect with the N7 shirt.
Yep, I am. Actually, shout out to my girlfriend. She made this for me.
Wow.
She made this with the cricket. It's like
Jordan made that?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. You can cut heat press vinyls, then she heat pressed it on.
Yeah, take that, and you don't have to pay $30 to
God,
EA.
No. God, no, they don't deserve it. I give them more than enough money already.
There you go.
But yeah, repping Mass Effect. Eventually, we'll get a new game or TV show or movie or something.
At some point.
Hopefully.
Well, there's Mass Effect 4 or 5 or whatever they're called. Because of that poster with Liara.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting.
Hopefully we'll hear something at some point.
I know we're right off the bat with Mass Effect.
Yeah.
But if I remember correctly, there's no way you can kill Liara, is there?
No, you need her in the first game. If you wait until the very end to save her, like if you make her mission the last minute mission, she's kind of like crazy and she doesn't really you can't romance her. And then in the third game...
Maybe in the third game you can kill her.
I guess, that's the last one. Technically everybody can die in the third game, so...
Yeah.
But no, you can't...
We'll find out.
Yeah, we'll find out.
We'll find out later. But I know, we're right off the bat. We're not even 2 minutes into the show. We're going heavy into Mass Effect.
Everybody's already like, oh my God, the nerds.
Nerd
talk.
Yeah. Okay, so besides that, nice T-shirt.
Thank you. Other than repping Mass Effect, I've been doing lots of other nerdy stuff. I've been catching up on The Sopranos still. I've been playing a lot of Pokemon Legends Arceus or whatever the name is. I can't remember. That's like my new jam now, is I randomly decided to try this new Pokemon game out.
Yeah, and now you're back into Pokemon.
Just rewind 20 years back to... grade school or middle school, whatever. And it's a lot of fun. It's a good game where I don't have to pay that much attention. I'm just mashing buttons. I'm like, there's not really any story. You're just going around catching little monsters. You're fighting. It's, mostly about the strategy of the combat and the free form exploration. It's a nice change of pace from the really heavy, narrative driven story games that I normally like to play. Every once in a while, I need to hit the big old reset button and play something kind of not dumb, but something that doesn't require a lot of mental bandwidth.
A little dumb.
Yeah. Not dumb by any means.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic game. It really is. And not to disparage Pokemon, but I just don't feel like playing a big heavy game right now. So that's my kind of easygoing peaceful kind of game.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yep. Fair enough.
Yeah. So that's what I've been doing. Just spending a lot of time with that, relaxing, just hanging out inside. Almost finished. What?
Just, hanging out inside.
Hanging out inside. I'm trying not to go. I don't want to go anywhere. This past spring and summer has been super busy, so I'm just trying to lay low and do nothing.
Yeah.
There was multiple weddings and vacations.
I mean, you were literally the best man at my wedding.
And then JB's.
And then Bruno's.
4 weeks later.
Yeah.
And in between those, I decided to fit in a trip to London.
Yeah.
So I don't know why I did that. And then immediately after that, we went to Chicago in July and also down the shore in July. And so now it's August. I'm like, guys, leave me alone. I don't want to do anything.
Mike needs the winter hibernation to happen immediately.
Exactly. And that's why I'm playing Pokemon. So I can just ignore the world and just turn my brain off and just sit in the living room playing video games for a little bit.
There you go.
That's what I've been doing.
There you go. Fantastic.
So how have you been spending your time?
Yeah. So I want to get into the golf news that I was at the BMW Championship. That was a blast.
I saw that.
I'll take away from the sports part because we're going to talk about the sports ramifications in the sports sampler. But just as a personal bit, this was always something I always wanted to do. Being a huge golf fan, I always wanted to go to like an actual PGA event and see what it's like. And it was fantastic. It was everything I hoped it could be. Somehow through the grace of the golf gods, I got hooked up with VIP access.
Wow.
Where I could go to the sky booth is what they call them, which is like they build these temporary houses.
Oh wow.
At the greens of some of the holes, and it was so great. You could see the one that I was at was the 15th hole. It was a par 3 at Wilmington Country Club, and it was just so cool. You could just see like all the professional golfers, their strategy, trying to take their best shot on this par 3. Another thing too, par 3, it could be a hole in one. You never know, especially with the way these guys golf and how meticulous they are. I think the closest to the pin that day, somebody was within 12 feet of the hole. So
that's really close.
Yeah. So I mean, we were right there, front row seats. I don't know why, but my first instinct to measure something when I'm at a sporting event is, could I throw a football at the person, in interest?
Right.
And
that's a good way to measure it. Yeah.
I don't know what you would call that, but that's my range of
Rich's football range.
Yeah, I don't know. Like that's how I mezer how close I am to something.
Yeah.
And I was that close. I could, if I had to, I could throw a football
within a stone's throw.
I was within a football throw.
Within a football throw.
Yeah. Take that, London. Or I don't know.
Is that what it's from?
I don't know. Scotland. I don't know. One of those UK country. One of those UK.
One of those people over there.
Yeah, they probably
across the pond or whatever.
I'm very worldly over here. Yeah, I don't know. One of those UK countries.
One of those UK countries.
But yeah, I was that close, and it was so cool to see the golfers, up that close, see them how to do strategy. There were a lot of golfers that ended up in the sand trap at that hole. Because there's a water hazard to the left and the sand trap is to the right.
So they try to avoid the water.
Yeah.
And figure at least, it's better to end up in the sand trap, if anything.
Right, because if you go into water, that's a stroke penalty, and you got to shoot again.
Yeah.
So it really doesn't do you any good if you hit the water. So
that's cool to watch a whole bunch of different guys try and get out of a sand trap then.
Yeah.
It was pretty unique.
And it also made me feel good about myself that I'm not the only one stuck in the sand trap, when I play golf.
Did you see some other guys really struggle?
Well, they're pretty good at getting out. Most of them, I think they all got out. It was just a matter of, did they get close to the hole after the landing zone. But yeah, for guys like me, it's oh my God, we're probably there the whole day. Get out of there,
hacking away.
Yeah.
But that's really cool that you ended up. I mean, not only did you knock off something from your bucket list, but you did it in a big way.
Yeah,
with your fancy skybox.
Yeah,
and
because
VIP. That's awesome.
Yeah, thankfully I didn't melt because it was a hot day. It was like 90 degrees on Saturday. So if I was like one of those people just hovering around at the fairway, that wouldn't I'd be melting. Also, we got a little.
There's like a little moth or something.
A little moth got attracted to the soundboard. He wants to help us out here at the Crispy Noodle. We'll have a new audio engineer by the end of the show.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a lot of fun to be there at the BMW Championship. By the way, the first PGA Tour event ever held in Delaware.
Oh.
So I'm a part of history.
You are forever emblazoned in that moment.
Yeah.
In world history.
If I reach the ripe old age of 100 and they have another PGA Tour event, I'm going to be like, oh, remember I was there at the first one.
Back in my day when they still hit the golf balls with physical golf clubs, not this conflabbed digital whacker.
Digital whacker.
Digital whacker, yeah.
By the way, write that down. Band name.
Digital whacker. That's a good one.
That's a good band name. Digital whacker. Coming at you this fall.
Just the band, not any music in particular. Just the band
just
itself.
the band. They're going to show up. Hi.
Hi, we're Digital Whacker.
Yeah.
We whack digitally.
Congratulations. So yeah, it was a great feeling to be a part of history. And it was a very well attended event. I mean, not only did we have the side note of it being a site of an important meeting between the PGA top tour officials and Tiger Woods and everything like that. because they're having discussions about how to combat the Live Tour.
Oh, that's right. They had their secret meeting.
Yeah, it was there. So
Oh, man.
somewhere in the campus that I was at, Tiger Woods was somewhere,
Discussing.
and I could have walked into him.
You could
It didn't happen, but I could have.
bumping him in the bathroom. You're like, oh, sorry, Mr. Woods.
Yeah, how you doing? How's that leg doing?
So actually, that brings up a good point, though. Did you see like all of the famous golfers that we talk about all the time?
I saw Rory. Rory was
Okay.
was in the lineup. I saw let's see who else was there. We have Matsuyama was there. There was Morikawa that was there.
Okay.
It was a good amount of people that we've covered here on the show.
Nice.
So
that's
it
really
was-
cool.
Yeah. And yeah, it was a blast. So get back to my point. If anybody wanted to think that golf is, too boring and who would ever want to go to a golfing event, the numbers came out that around 30,000 people attended Saturday and Sunday at
Wow.
Wilmington Country Club.
That's a pretty respectable. That's more than the Phillies probably bring in.
It's a pretty big number, and like it was really like interesting because I have friends that live down there,
Right.
and so I'm kind of familiar with the area around Wilmington Country Club a little bit, and I kind
Okay.
of know how to get down there. I wouldn't say I'm an expert, but I know some ways to if there's traffic, I could find a way to get around. This was like it was bonkers because everybody had to park at least like 20 minutes away from the country club,
Oh,
and there
wow.
were shuttles picking up people.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, it's 30,000 people heading towards a country club that is probably only used to seeing 500 people.
Yeah, maybe a couple hundred tops.
Yeah. So they really had to, come up with a specific game plan so that they could handle the overflow of people. And they did. I got to admit, they did it successfully. Good job, Delaware. It seemed like everything went fairly well. The only thing that was curious was something that I was in attendance to and I was privy to and I saw with my own eyes was a part of the broadcast. Rory McIlroy was about to take his second shot on the green at the par 3 when some crazy fan threw a remote control golf ball at Rory, and it was funny, like he was making it like move erratically on the green, and he was trying to get it to Rory, and then when Rory saw it, the fan like jumped out and like ran towards the green and was shouting like, please autograph it, and Rory was just like, what is happening? And he just takes the golf ball and he throws it into the water hazard, and everybody went crazy.
Oh, my God.
And then the Delaware State cops came and took the fan away because
Well, I feel bad that person lost their little remote control golf ball, but at the same time, what did you think was going to happen?
yeah, and also he's got bigger issues coming his way.
Yeah.
A lot of people were saying maybe it was staged. I mean, if
You
it
don't think it
was,
was staged?
I mean, I don't think so. It didn't seem like anybody was in on it. I mean, if they are, everybody's good actors.
Yeah, right?
But if it wasn't, that guy's gonna have more problems to worry about than the loss of his remote control golf ball.
Yeah, he could be in big trouble.
Yeah, because he literally did like charge at the green, and the Delaware State trooper was right there to get him. So it was interesting, and I don't think they broadcasted that on the feed. So we were
That's a
privy
shame.
to
See,
that.
that's the type of stuff you need to have in the golf broadcast to keep it interesting.
Yep. And like I was saying to some people that were there, I was like, I've played golf. I've never seen anything like that before. that was unique. So it was a great experience. Hopefully the PGA Tour does more events here in the area because that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, you can go to more of them.
Yep. And we'll have more golf news to get to in the Sports Sampler. So how about we launch right into it right now, actually? Does that sound like a good plan?
Let's do it.
All right. First batch of topics, the Sports Sampler.
So you're not good at sports. It's a very small part of life.
Sports.
In your face. Ha ha!
Yes, that's right. Sports coming at you in your face here. And we got to talk, before we get to more golf talk, we got to talk about the big news in the NFL that broke literally on Thursday.
It always does.
Because, God forbid, they break the news, before we record and we get an episode out and everything's happy, go lucky. No, they got to take this news on Thursday. and that is the NFL and Deshaun Watson have come together and have agreed on a compromise to accept a new suspension, because Deshaun Watson was originally going to get 6 games. The NFL said, that's way too little. They were going to sue. Then Deshaun Watson's camp was going to countersue, and it was going to be this huge, ugly brouhaha. But instead, they came together and agreed on a new suspension that fits a timeline for Deshaun Watson, and that one that the NFL can live with.
Yeah. They finally came to a conclusion to this sordid tale. Deshaun Watson is officially suspended 11 games. He is also fined $5 million, which I think is the record right now for a single fine for a player.
Yeah,
What?
but does that really do any damage, considering he's getting, $40 million guaranteed or something?
That's the only reason they fined him the $5 million, because without the $5 million fine, he would have only lost $690,000 out of $40 million. So with the $5 million fine, it brings his total lost wages for the season to about $5.7-ish million.
Oh, boo-hoo.
So yeah, I know it's like almost $6 million out of a $30 to $40 million contract.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah. So a little annoying there that it's kind of like a drop in a bucket. But I'm glad that he got more than the 6 games that was officially recommended. I am disappointed, supremely disappointed in the NFL and all parties involved that he only got 11 games. I feel like that is just a travesty.
Yeah.
It's not right given what he did and how unprecedented it was. And the other thing that really annoys me is that it's 11 games, and people might be wondering why 11. That's such an odd number. Why not a nice round 10? 10 sounds great. Why not 12? Another nice even number. Why 11 specifically? Because his first game back after the suspension is against the Houston Texans.
Yep.
It is so thinly veiled, it's almost laughable.
Yeah.
Because the 11 games, the bye week doesn't count. So 11 games, his first game back will be the game against the Texans. This is literally the first chance that he will get to play. And we all know why it's 11 games, because they wanted the hype around Deshaun Watson facing his former team. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and
it's BS.
Yeah, and it's definitely a shame. I really thought they should have held out for a full season. Screw them over.
Yeah.
But this is the final act that they pressed upon him. The thing that I'm kind of weary about is the weird press afterwards that this got from the Cleveland Browns organization. They did a couple of interviews like Thursday afternoon after this broke with Deshaun Watson and the GM of the Browns.
Okay.
And it was just bizarre. You've noted here that Watson maintains his innocence. You're right. Like he literally, like it was like he did like 2 separate responses, because he had a social media printed response on his Twitter and Instagram where he said he's sorry and he's going to work to be a better man. And then when he did the interview at training camp live in person, he said, I'm still maintaining my innocence. I still, am trying to work this out.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait, what? Like, you
No.
can't say I'm sorry and then say, oh, but I'm also innocent. Like,
yeah, and also you can't. I'm sorry, whatever the legal definition is, but you can't settle with 24 women, then also get suspended by your workplace, and still say, yeah, I did nothing wrong.
yeah.
Right? Does that?
It doesn't add up.
No, it doesn't add up. And just a simple, heartfelt apology. Nobody's, at this point in the situation, it's years into this. Nobody's, I don't think anybody's asking for much more than that. It would have been nice to get all this other stuff, but now we realize that, it is what it is. A nice heartfelt apology at least show some kind of remorse, some kind of, commitment to not being an ass.
Yeah.
Just anything.
But what's weird is like his social media team, whatever team he has employed, like they went that route. And I think like they actually like probably had like things prepared for him to say, like literally follow this line of thought and we should be okay. And instead he gets interviewed post practice and he says, "I'm innocent." Like, well, now you just shot your. It doesn't make any sense. You can't be sorry and working on your character on one thing and then say, "I'm innocent. I did nothing wrong" on the other.
Yeah,
that was bizarre. That was just so crazy. And then the interview later on that day with the Browns GM, they were like saying like, "Oh, well, we're trying to do the right thing and we're trying to give every person a second chance here in the NFL between Kareem Hunt," which by the way, he's in a lockout. Interesting character to throw in the middle of all this. The one that's holding out from being with your team because he wants a new contract. We're trying to give people second chances here in Cleveland. Well, guess what? You didn't give Baker Mayfield a second chance.
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield literally won you a playoff game.
Baker Mayfield didn't have sexual assault allegations.
Yeah.
Or actively want out of the team.
Yeah.
I think Baker Mayfield wanted to play there.
Yeah. And you kicked him out as fast as you could when you could have got a chance at Deshaun Watson.
I hate the Browns as an organization. 1, for that. 2, it's Cleveland, and Cleveland just sucks. 3,
yes.
They also gave, I think that the Browns should not be overlooked in people's anger here for giving Deshaun Watson a contract like that.
Yep.
Football financing aside, he destroyed the quarterback market, but the Browns are complicit in all of this, basically acting as an enabler here.
Yeah, by giving him
$230 million fully guaranteed because he knew what was coming down the pike. They knew what was coming down the pike, and they're just like, here's your hush money.
Here's a way to get around the system.
Right. They're like, here's the money you can use for hush money. And I think we can't let them be free of criticism of that point. And it seems like people are just kind of like, they talk about it, but like not nearly enough.
Yeah. So the Cleveland Browns organization is not one I don't think a lot of people...
I think the Browns as an organization should be punished somehow. And it's ridiculous because you can't really, it's their money to decide what to do with, but I don't know. Something about it just doesn't sit right with me.
Yeah. It's almost like they should lose a draft pick or something. They should lose like a first-round draft pick.
Like something stinks here in Cleveland. And it doesn't pass the eye test, and it pisses me off.
Yeah. But, what exactly, can you label... Can you... punish against them.
Right, you can't make any like legal claim against them.
Yeah.
They didn't do anything.
I'd say maybe take away like a first or second round draft pick.
Just have the refs throw a couple extra flags a game.
Well, maybe the thing that we're all hoping for is that they go 1-10 during those 11 games.
Oh, there'd be nothing sweeter.
And the Browns are completely out of playoff contention.
There would be nothing sweeter. At this point, Deshaun Watson will have missed almost 3 full seasons of play. No, like 2. About 2 full seasons of play.
Yep.
I hope he comes back and he is a shell of his former self.
Or that. Actually, that would probably be worse. That they invested that much money in him and he comes back and he stinks.
Yeah. Because here's the thing. It's still the Browns. He could be the best quarterback ever, and they still have a certain ceiling.
Yeah. There are just some teams that are just they're just not destined to be good.
And for reasons like this.
Yeah.
For reasons like this. They put themselves in these kind of situations because they're mismanaged and they're short-sighted. Yeah.
So I think most fair weather and critical thinking, common sense fans are not rooting for the Browns this season. We're hoping that they go, 1-10 during that 11-game run, and they're just out of playoff contention when Watson gets back, and there's
would be awesome.
No championship run.
I want to know what happens when Deshaun Watson is entering year 3 of his contract with the Browns, and they still haven't done anything. Is he going to one out of Cleveland like he did one out of Houston? Because he was winning, and he won that one year in Houston. He made the playoffs.
Yeah, but
and
then
his whole argument was like, oh,
well-
the losing culture. I want out of Houston.
well, all right. So he was valid at that point because Bill O'Brien was being the worst GM we ever saw. Remember, he made that stupid trade
yeah.
for
But what makes
what was
Watson
it, David Johnson?
right? But that's the point. What makes
That was DeAndre Hopkins, wasn't it? Wasn't
yeah,
that?
it was DeAndre Hopkins
God, he
for
traded away DeAndre Hopkins
like a
in his
for
prime.
like a backup running back.
in his prime.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
So right at that moment, he was correct, but then everything went
what
to
I'm
crap.
what I'm getting at here is that what makes Watson think the Browns are going to be different?
Yeah, right.
Like he's like, I went out of Houston because they're mismanaging the team.
I'm gonna go to Cleveland.
Hello? You picked the second worst managed team in the league.
Yeah. Good luck.
It's like the Houston, the Texans, the Browns, the Jets, and the Jags. And
Washington.
the Lions and Washington. Those 6 teams are incapable of doing absolutely anything correctly.
Yeah, it's very, very rarely, or they have to like not knowing they're doing the right thing to do the right thing.
Right, they have to accidentally do the right thing.
Yeah, like that one random season, the Washington team won the division.
Yeah, and the one random season where the Texans, got pretty far
Yeah.
as well. It's sheer dumb luck.
Yeah. So unfortunately, that's the situation there with the NFL. Actually, just another quick topic here in the NFL. I wanted to point this out now that I'm thinking about quarterbacks. Did you hear the new information that came to light through Dana White of all people, that apparently Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski were actually on the verge of joining the Las Vegas Raiders in 2020?
Really?
Yep.
No, I didn't hear
Yep,
that.
Dana White, who he's into all things gambling and therefore
Right.
all things with Vegas, and he's the man of the town there. He gave this interview and he said, "Oh yeah, it was happening. Like Tom Brady and Gronk were just about to sign the dotted line and begin their new careers in Vegas."
So what happened?
John Gruden actually said, "I prefer Derek Carr."
Wow.
John Gruden.
He's
He
an
was the
idiot.
head coach at the time.
So dumb.
Yep.
When-
Which, by the way, I don't know if you ever saw that. Did you ever see that promo clip that Brady made when he did Barbershop with LeBron James?
No.
LeBron James has a show called Barbershop where he's allowed to talk freely among other athletes and stuff.
Okay.
And he had Tom Brady on, and Tom Brady talked about the free agency that year, and he said a quarterback, in a team that's not to be named, that he was in talks with, and they said, "Oh, we're going to go with our current quarterback," and Tom Brady said, "Really, you're going to run with this MFer? All right, your loss."
Wow.
And apparently, I guess it must have been this. They went with Derek Carr. So Tom Brady must have very interesting feelings against the Raiders.
That sucks because it's not like Derek Carr is terrible.
No, he's a decent quarterback.
He's a decent quarterback, and they have a decent team. I mean, obviously, Tom Brady and Gronk ended up being correct. They went to Tampa Bay and immediately won a Super Bowl. But, don't crap all over Derek Carr. For what?
What are you saying? Brady.
Yeah, I'm taking issue with Brady.
Okay, well, assuming at the time, when Brady said that, he was trying to not say directly who it was. But now we got this piece of information from Dana White. The pieces fit together. He had to be talking about Derek Carr.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
But so there's that whole aspect. But just alternate universe theory. Do you think do you think Brady and Gronk going to the Raiders would have provided some sort of success?
No, because I think Tampa Bay had the defense in place for that run. The Raiders, to be honest, I don't really know.
And John Gruden, I don't know. He's too dysfunctional.
And here's my ultimate part with the Raiders is when you look at the whole management structure at the time, you had whoever Al Davis's son is, I can't remember, Junior. Mark Davis. He's
same weird bowl cut.
He's a bozo.
Yeah.
Then I really feel like they were building that team to be like a reality TV show because they bring in John Gruden at coach, Mike Mayock as GM.
Yep.
They bring in Antonio Brown. I'm like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah, that's right. AB was part of that team.
And then they all three immediately started fighting. I'm like, it feels scripted. Like that team at the time was not built for success because they had just moved to Vegas. They were built to drum up hype to sell tickets.
Yeah.
Why would you hire 2 people out of the television booth to lead your team?
Yeah,
Like,
reality TV show
I know
syndrome.
John Gruden had success. I know Mike Mayock apparently knows a lot about the draft. They didn't do jack squat for the Raiders while they were there for all
Nope.
their TV knowledge.
Nope.
They were signings specifically to drum up hype, and nobody can convince me otherwise.
Yeah, I think you're right on that. And I think,
Yeah.
honestly,
and so Tom Brady going there, honestly, Tom Brady dodged a bullet.
yeah.
Which is more annoying that he was crapping all over Carr, before we realized he was crapping all over Carr.
Yeah.
Because
So,
he dodged a bullet.
he dodged a huge bullet.
Yeah.
Yep.
He should be thanking the Raiders.
Yeah, and instead he wins a Super Bowl with Tampa Bay.
It's so annoying.
So, interesting little what if alternate universe theory.
That would be interesting.
Apparently they were right there. He was out the, signing the contracts and stuff, and John Gruden said, "Nope, I want to go with Derek Carr."
That really would have been a crazy season.
Yeah. So, there you go. Little football what if situation there for you. All right, now let's get to the thing that I wanted to the thing that we'll, mention that I've talked that we're going to talk about, and we're going to issue the sports version of it. I don't know.
Are you
why.
okay?
I had a stroke there.
Okay.
I was trying to say I had a stroke. Basically, I was saying I did the personal bit of this earlier, but now we need to get to the actual sports side of it. That's what I was trying to get at.
Okay.
So we're going to talk about the secret meeting with the PGA golfers in the 3-minute drill. There we go. The time is on.
All right.
There we go. Woke me up. There you go.
So this week in the 3-minute drill, we have whatever Rich was just talking about. No, but seriously, we have something to talk about here. The Live Tour is continuing its progress to push for golf dominance and snatch up as many golfers as possible.
Yep.
There was a leaked report, right, about some interesting people they were going after.
Yeah, so I remember last week when we mentioned the PGA secret meeting in Wilmington, you specifically said the Live Tour should come out and make a huge signing announcement.
Yeah.
Well, they must have been listening to our show, because what happened in this leak report, Mike?
So it turns out that they are targeting the world number 2 and recent British Open champion Cameron Smith,
Yep.
apparently heading to the Live Tour, as well as Hideki Matsuyama. 2 big name golfers, and this is, again, like I mentioned, this is what you got to do after a big PGA event. You come out with a huge announcement, and also what I was saying is you just want to sign, you don't need to sign the number 1. You never need to sign the number 1. You just got to sign the numbers 2 through 15. Because if you steal all the rest of the top talent, the PGA can have the number 1 all they want, because you got everyone else.
I mean, this is shocking. I mean, now we're talking about top 10 in the world are going to be defecting to Live Tour. And this is crazy.
This is one of those things where, when the Live Tour first came out, it's like a couple little, sprinkles, like drops of snow, but then as it continues to build, it's turning into a kind of an avalanche.
Yeah.
Like
snowball effect.
Yeah, it was the first guy, who was the old guy.
Phil Mickelson.
Yeah, you're like, all right, he's in the twilight of his career, and it's like, oh, one big golfer, then another big golfer. Now all
Bryson
of a sudden,
DeChambeau, Brooks Koepka.
And now it's just this huge snowball, and it's just going to keep growing and growing, because these guys want to, 1, go where the money is, obviously, and 2, they want to play with the other best golfers in the world. Nobody wants to play with chumps.
Well, it's not just that, too. It's also guaranteed money.
Yeah.
It comes back to guaranteed money.
Yeah.
They go to Live Tour, they're getting guaranteed money no matter what happens in their performance. They could play just like I do in 72 holes or 54 holes, and guess what? They're still getting paid.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, unless you're Tiger Woods with all of the deals, if you're not placing, you're not making rent.
If you don't make the cut, you don't make any money.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, and according to some of the leaked reports from the PGA secret meeting in Wilmington, Tiger Woods wants PGA to become more like the Live Tour.
I mean, why not? He hasn't placed in a long time.
Yes, but I think it's to combat this new phenomenon that is happening, and everything is crazy with the golf civil war. Yeah,
But
there you go.
You're absolutely right. Tiger Woods, he makes a good point. They absolutely should model the Live Tour. You're telling me PGA doesn't have enough money to throw every golfer a bone or 2?
Yeah, some sort of parting gift.
Some kind of pittance, like, oh, you showed up, here's 10 grand.
Congratulations.
Seriously,
yeah,
what is that to them? Nothing. They got
Yeah.
video games and apparel and advertising. You got to do something to combat it because right now they're losing this war.
Yeah. And it's going to get even worse if Augusta comes out, in the next couple of months and says, "Oh, we're going to allow Live Tour people to play at the Masters."
They're going to. They have to.
It's going to get dicey.
The Masters wants the best of the best, and the Live Tour now has a good portion of the best,
including reportedly the world number 2. So this is crazy. But there you go. That is the 3-minute drill, and that will wrap up the sports sampler. A little tasty treat involving the world of golf and football. Oh, man. Also, by the way, football, man, it's coming up.
I know. It's right around the corner.
Oh, I can't wait. But we'll still have to hold our breath in the meantime. But we still have something to help us out, and that will be the second part of the show with the entertainment entree and then the non-fortune cookie odd news coming up after the break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here on the Crispy Noodle Podcast.
Ready for the weekend? Happy Friday. Hi, my name's Marie, and I'm an artist who's been making Happy Friday doodles every week for over 7 years. And now you can own my art collection in this Volume 1 and Volume 2 art series. These doodles span across multiple themes, yearly festivities, various countries, languages, and more. Both coffee table books have something for everyone and are the perfect conversation starter or gift for a friend. Really, anyone who enjoys a good weekend. Available on Amazon, Ingram, BookBaby, Barnes & Noble, and more. Visit happyfridaydoodles.com/books and get your copies today. Let's celebrate the best day of the week. Happy Friday.
If you go to Taco Bell at 3 in the morning, this is what you're going to get. Yeah,
That clip is already coming into play.
Yes,
I love
already. So there you go.
Stop.
What happened?
The thing went on.
Well, how did that turn on?
I don't know. The fart sound.
The fart sound turned Amazon on?
I think the fart sound turned on my Echo.
What the
I
hell?
don't know. It turned on.
What are you doing, Jeff Bezos? What are you into?
Basically, he's listening to fart sounds.
He's listening to our fart sounds. Oh, my God.
I changed the trigger word to fart. I got to fart at it now. I don't know what happened.
That's really awkward. You're going to have to... Excuse me.
Excuse me. How can I help you?
You may need some bowel.
Do you want me to automatically order you Pepto-Bismol? I don't know why. I don't know why I'm talking to it solely through farts now.
It actually, you fart into it.
Fart once for yes and twice for no.
No. Actually, you fart into the device, and then
Yeah.
Amazon can determine what medicine you need.
Oh, right. Wow. That's next level right there. Or what you've been eating and what you want to reorder.
Oh.
I detect Cheetos. Would you like to subscribe?
Would you like a bulk order of Cheetos?
Ooh, yes, please.
Cheetos ordered.
Cheetos. That story took a turn.
Yeah.
Cheetos ordered.
Okay. All right. There you go. The latest from Jeff Bezos and Amazon.
It's amazing technology, I tell you.
Yeah. Yeah, we're back here on the Crispy Noodle Podcast. We are done the sports sampler. But we're moving right along here on the show. Let's get to the next part of our program where we go over some movies, TV, video game news, stuff like that. Folks, it is time for the entertainment entree. If it goes, there you go, entertainment entree.
And now, the latest in movies.
The Simpson guy writes to movies. Dear Die Hard, you rock. Especially when that guy was on the roof.
Music.
I know what that is. That's music.
Video games.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store on the Citadel.
Celebrities.
You really know Warren Beatty? Yes, I do. I took a leak next to him once at the Golden Globes.
And more.
You're the all-singing, all-dancing crap of the world.
This is the entertainment entree.
All right, there we go. Something else that's kind of a tangent. The Apple update, I don't know, that came out this week.
Oh, yeah?
It was like DEFCON 1. I don't know if this was something that you felt as a fellow Apple fan, but like I saw like all these things that were like, you need to update Apple products right now.
Whoops.
Yeah, it was like on Good Morning America.
I should update my phone then.
Yeah, it was like, this latest update is very important. Ah!
Yeah, every once in a while there's like a patch where they're like, all right, there's some vulnerability, just like with any operating system software, but I guess, I don't know, the fervor about it.
I guess because it's like for an iPhone, because people use it. I don't know, like that made it like more like it was on Good Morning America. It was on like news programs.
It's the Apple effect, where
Yeah.
anything that happens to Apple is always the
God.
the best or the worst. Apple got rid of headphone jacks and they were crucified. Then
Yep.
everyone else got rid of headphone jacks and everyone's like, oh well.
Yeah.
And then like if there's a vulnerability, everyone's like, oh my God, the world is ending. But it's like the same as every other. It's like when Windows has an update,
Yeah.
security patch.
Yeah. So I don't know. Something
But
happened.
did that make the soundboard all
I don't
funky?
know. I hit the button and it didn't play, so I don't know. And this is the only Apple product I own, so I don't know. I have no idea.
Are you trying to slander Apple here on the podcast?
Just I don't know. I'm putting puzzle pieces together.
Okay, sure.
Between this and the Tom Brady thing, I don't know. I'm just putting puzzle pieces together. That's it. That's all I'm doing.
The Apple update and Tom Brady. What do they have to
Yes.
do with each other?
The Tom Brady.
It's a great.
Derek Carr thing.
It's a huge cabal conspiracy.
Yes, right. I'm just putting pieces together.
And Tom Brady is at the center of it,
Sure.
controlling Apple
Yes.
from his base.
Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay.
TB.
Whoa.
Terms of Brady that you sign with Apple. There you go.
Terms of Brady.
Yep. That's in the agreement that you sign with Apple products.
Amazing.
Yep. Confirmed here on the Crispy Noodle podcast.
Every Apple terms of condition you sign, you're giving a year of your life to Tom Brady so he can keep playing football.
Yes, exactly.
There's somehow some black magic woven into the.
Every Apple product that everybody uses is feeding
Whoa.
Tom Brady's
Whoa.
immortality so he can keep playing.
Damn, that's heavy.
Yep. That's you heard it here first here on the Crispy Noodle podcast.
That still sounds more logical than stuff Alex Jones would say.
Yes, there you go. Take that. So we've done it. We've made a better conspiracy theory than Alex Jones ever did. So long. All right, now let's get to the portion of the show that's not conspiracy theory. This is actual news. This is the part of the show where Mike is going to let you know what you should keep an eye out for and pay attention to this upcoming week. In Mike's This Week in Entertainment. All right, Mikey, what do you got?
All right, this week in entertainment, first up in movies, Funny Pages comes to select theaters and on-demand and streaming services. It's described as a dark, coming-of-age comedy. The synopsis reads, quote, a teenage cartoonist rejects the comforts of his suburban life and leaves home, finding an unwilling teacher and unwitting friend in Wallace, a former low-level comic artist. The movie currently has a 91 on Rotten Tomatoes. It's got lots of positive reviews. The trailer makes it look pretty interesting. It's this kid trying to make it as his own as a comic book artist, and he makes friends with some interesting characters in some rougher sections of where he's living because he wants to give it all up and pursue his dreams. And it's one of those classic, kind of darkly comedic, bittersweet coming-of-age stories. So if that sounds like it's something you're interested in, go check out Funny Pages this week in select theaters and on-demand services specifically. Next up in TV, Little Demon comes to FX. It's a new adult animated comedy from the co-creator of Rick and Morty. Aubrey Plaza voices a single mom trying to raise a teenage daughter who just happens to also be the daughter of Satan. Danny DeVito voices the devil himself, and his real-life daughter, Lucy DeVito, voices the daughter in the show. So you have a father-daughter duo voicing Satan and his daughter, the Antichrist. It's just so bizarre.
Fantastic.
I watched the trailer, and immediately I'm like, okay, this is a crazy concept, and just hearing Danny DeVito voice Satan is just amazing. So if you're looking for irreverent humor, go check out Little Demon, coming out this week on FX. And that's what we're looking forward to this week in entertainment.
All right. Thank you for that segment this week in entertainment. All right. So if you notice some things that are different on your HBO Max account, apparently this is a widespread issue since Discovery has been taking over HBO Max. There is content that is being pulled down.
Yeah.
It's getting so bad that John Oliver even mentioned it on his show Last Week Tonight, which is funny because that's also broadcasted on HBO and HBO Max. So, Mike, what the hell's happening?
So it's, the same story that we talked about a week or two ago, where HBO and Discovery are continuing to cut content from their streaming service.
My God! What the hell's going on tonight?
Ric Flair's getting angry.
Ric Flair should be angry because it's crap what they've been doing, because they're pulling all these shows. These shows are, keep in mind, folks, this is not like, so Batgirl was tough to hear about because it was, mostly finished. All they had to do was release it, yada, yada, yada. They decided to pull it. But this is now content that's already been created and has been existing on the service. And they're pulling it off. They're pulling off movies and shows. This is not just licensing deals. It's content that was created specifically for HBO Max. So it's HBO Max originals. And they're being pulled. The official stance is that they're pulling the content in order to merge services and shows onto one platform. But as John Oliver pointed out, as lots of people are pointing out, they're using these shows as tax write-offs. They're saying they're pulling, I think it was like 30-some small animated shows, and they're like, oh, it's a loss. They're claiming it as a tax write-off in order to save $3 billion, to make back $3 billion of debt that they have. But these animated shows, they've already been made. They're already on the service. They're pulling them for very nefarious reasons. They're pulling them so they don't have to pay residuals to the creators and to, again, claim them as tax write-offs, which is, I think, despicable, because not only are you robbing people of the content that they've been watching, but now you're robbing the creators who poured their energies and efforts into these shows. And now, because there's tax write-offs, you can't profit from them anymore. You can't make a profit on them. So I don't know if they'll ever be able to exist in any sort of profitable way. Maybe if the creators eventually get the rights back, maybe they can put them on free online. But it's really upsetting because there was one show in particular that I thought was fantastic, Infinity Train. You can't go watch it now, folks. Sorry, but it was amazing.
I thought, though, in order for it to be a tax write-off, you could never have profited from it once.
I'm not sure exactly.
Maybe because...
So don't take my word as tax law.
Yeah, right. We're not tax lawyers here. But maybe is it because when Discovery took it over, it's like a fresh slate, so it's like, oh, we didn't profit from it.
I think it must be some kind of high level effery loophole. Yeah. But the point here is, and I think the thing that's most upsetting is, you are now getting less for your subscription for the same price.
Yep.
And this is the thing. When everything started going digital and everything started going streaming, and we heard this argument a lot in video games, nobody owns anything anymore. People are like, what happens if? What happens if? And it never really happened before. Well, now you're starting to see it. You're starting to see what happens if HBO Max falls on hard times. They say, you know what? You just don't get your shows anymore.
Yep. Or we gotta shut down.
Yeah, and they're just gone. They just evaporate into the ether. And as we're creatives here, we do our creative thing. It'd be really heartbreaking if something that you created just evaporates into the ether. Like all these great works of art in years past, there's a physical form of them somewhere. Like when Disney Plus pulled the Michael Jackson episode of The Simpsons, because of what Michael Jackson did in the past. I have a DVD copy of that season of The Simpsons. I still have that episode that I can go watch, even though it doesn't exist online or on air anywhere. But now content's just evaporating like it never happened.
Yeah,
and that to me is really upsetting. It's
like they're trying to rewrite the universe or something.
It's very revisionist. Yeah, and not only that, but you're getting a lesser product, and the creators are getting shorted too.
Yeah.
There's like literally nothing good about this except for
making money.
HBO Max's and Discovery's bottom line, which is despicable because they're huge companies that charge so much money for their services. Where do they get off?
Yeah, and shouldn't Discovery have known about
Don't
all
you
this
do
money?
Your due diligence, Discovery?
They did their due diligence in trying to cheat everybody in this weird tax write-off BS.
So I'm just saying, what about shows? Anything's on the table now, maybe. So the other thing that annoys me is that they're targeting these small animated shows, which are peanuts. Like, what do these shows cost to make compared to, the Game of Thrones and the Successions? Like, it doesn't make any sense to go after...
Yeah, but they make money back because everyone is... people are huge fans of those shows.
Yeah, I guess. That's true. It's just something about it just sticks in my craw. Just annoys me.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. It's not fair.
They're also targeting Sesame Street. Like, who goes after Sesame Street? Like, they removed hundreds of episodes. Like,
didn't Congress technically did when they had that hearing about VCRs and recording TV shows?
Oh my God!
So
what
actually,
century is this?
Yeah. So actually, Sesame Street actually has really powerful enemies.
Sesame Street has really powerful enemies. That is something I never thought I'd heard say. But yeah, well, I'll tell you what, HBO Max, Discovery specifically, is making a lot of enemies with these moves, and I don't think any of them are good. And if you're a subscriber of HBO Max, like I am, I'm pissed. You guys should be pissed too.
Yeah.
It's not good stuff.
No. Of course, a weird tax loophole is the thing that gets developed here in the year 2022 instead of, interesting content or something like that,
Yeah. I really hope this isn't like the future of streaming. Like if Netflix needs to make a quick buck, they're like, oh, well, we're going to completely remove Stranger Things from the service because we don't want to profit off of it anymore. We don't want to pay residuals or whatever. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. It seems very slippery slope to me.
Yep. Well, how about we get to better news and better content?
Yes.
And we're going to do some quick recaps and reviews. We've been on the air for the last couple of weeks and have not mentioned these shows specifically because there's either been spoilers or stuff that we didn't know yet. So that is why we kind of held off on it, and we wanted to save it for a dedicated portion, which we're doing recaps and reviews here. And I'll take the lead here because the one I want to talk about is Better Call Saul. Better Call Saul ended last week, so hopefully give you a full week to watch the finale that you got to see. I won't go into spoilers in case you haven't, but I'm just going to say it right here. I found Better Call Saul to be better than Breaking Bad. It's official.
You've said that for quite some time now, but now it's the official
stamp.
Finale stamp.
Yep, I love the ending to the saga. It was a nice button on not just Better Call Saul, but the whole Breaking Bad universe. It felt like this was the finale that Vince Gilligan wanted for the whole series, and he said multiple times too that this is it. That after this point, he's doing new projects. He's kind of tired of the universe, which is fair considering he did 5 seasons of Breaking Bad, 6 of Better Call Saul, and then the spinoff movie with Jesse El Camino.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this has really been a lot of material in this universe that he's been crafting. And honestly, everything has just been so good. It's going to go down, I think, as one of the top 3 TV universes of all time. It's so good. And I feel like every season got better and better and better, which is amazing. And the fact that Better Call Saul was this weird spin-off but also sequel show of Breaking Bad, and it was able to have its own feel, its own lore, and its own story is a testament to how well they put this show together. If you're one of those people that stopped watching Breaking Bad and you weren't sure of Saul Goodman and you're like, I don't know if that's enough to be its own show, you were dead wrong. This is a great show. I hope it wins Emmys. This is the year that it should win some Emmys. If it doesn't, that is going to be one of the biggest crimes against art I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, it should I'm predicting it will win because it's its final season. It's one of those, like, it's due. Because Succession goes on another year. House of Dragons is just starting. All these other big dramas are still running, but Better Call Saul, this is it.
Yeah.
It deserves to win. I haven't actually started the last season yet because AMC is the worst.
Yeah.
They don't have the first half of the last season on their streaming service, so I have to find another way to watch it. Yo-ho.
Yeah. Is that a boat?
Is that a boat I see?
A ship?
That's what happens, AMC,
Huh?
when you don't make your episodes available.
Yar.
Yar. I would have paid for a month to watch it
Yeah.
and then canceled the service, but
Yep.
anyway. But yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, the show, like you said, has its own feel and vibe to it. It's not like a straight, dark, heavy drama like Breaking Bad was. It has moments of levity. It has moments of, all these other, like, the romance subplot with the 2 main characters, kind of. It has a little bit of everything.
Yep.
It's
So-
fantastic.
Yep. So I just wanted to get that out there. I loved the finale for Better Call Saul. All right. Now Mike has Game of Thrones or something. I don't know.
Game of Thrones or something. Yeah, it's House of the Dragon premiered this past weekend on HBO. Speaking of HBO, previously. And I, as a huge Game of Thrones fan, had to check out House of the Dragon, of course. And I was very skeptical because we all know a couple years ago where Game of Thrones left fans wanting and annoyed. And the series finale was a lot of hype for a very average final season and a very average final episode. I don't think it was as bad as many people made it out to be, but it was definitely lackluster and left people wanting, left a sour taste. So I was going to this a little apprehensive. Could HBO do it all over again? Can they do it right after the tragedy of Game of Thrones Season 8? The short answer is yes, they can. And the first episode has a lot of really big positives going for it. Right off the bat, it grounds you specifically in the era. It's 200 years before the events. It gives you a little tiny blurb about how it, where this takes place in the history as a prequel to those events. But it makes it clear that this is a completely separate story, right? It's focusing specifically on the one family and their internal conflicts, but at the same time, it still does have those callbacks to things that we will see, come to fruition 200 years later in the original Game of Thrones series. But in terms of the story that's taking place in House of the Dragon, everything that they mentioned leading up to the premiere was true. It is very much like Succession with dragons. You have a family divided. There's a question about literally who will be the heir to the throne. The current king has no son, so he has to decide between his brother, who is a psychopath, or his daughter, God forbid, a queen, becomes ruler of Westeros.
A woman?
A woman? What? No, but I mean, it's a serious question for that world and for that era that it's based on. And so everything spirals off of that central question, like in Succession, who will take over? You have those 2 people. You have other people pulling the strings behind everyone. And the first episode does a good job of dropping those breadcrumbs, of letting you see how there's all these different people vying for control, vying for power, whispering in ears, and kind of, pushing people in certain directions. So I'm really liking the slower, methodical, political plot of this first episode in contrast to the later seasons of Game of Thrones, where it was very action-driven. This is very character-driven, very politics, narrative-driven. It's really exciting stuff. I have really high hopes for the season. I could be proven wrong, but right now, starting things off on a pretty high note. So I say if you were left disappointed with Game of Thrones, just try out the first episode of House of the Dragon. There was one series of scenes in particular that are very difficult to watch, but some brilliant cinematography. You'll know when you watch the episode what I'm talking about. Really visceral, gruesome stuff, but not violence for the sake of violence. Violence that serves a purpose in telling the story of the world that these characters are in. So, really, really awesome stuff. Very happy with it. So
all right, there you go.
The end of one amazing show and the start of another one.
There you go.
Even though you hate it.
Reviews and reactions there specifically for two fan bases. But I guess we have a third one here because you've got news for Lord of the Rings as well.
That's right. Another series that you dislike. It's that high fantasy that you can't get behind. Yeah. So I'll take this one as well.
Yeah, go ahead. You got it.
Jeez. There's some stuff here for you to sink your teeth into, though. Because the Embracer Group, which is a conglomerate of entertainment properties, mostly in video games, they bought the rights to the Lord of the Rings TV shows, movies, video games, board games, basically all of Lord of the Rings entertainment. This doesn't affect current deals with Amazon Prime and the shows that they have planned, such as Rings of Power and an animated show coming out. But this does mean that this new owner can make lots of other content and TV shows and movies based on these properties. Specifically, they're already floating the idea of spin-offs for characters like Gandalf, Aragorn, Gollum, and others.
So they basically want to make a Hobbit cinematic universe.
It seems like that's what they want to head towards, is they want to take... And here's the thing. I'm a little torn on this because one could say, do we need all these expanded universes? But here's the other thing that I would counter with is that the Lord of the Rings is the truest expanded universe. When you look at all these different fantasy and sci-fi properties, the Lord of the Rings has an actual, I don't know what to call it, a Bible, an almanac, an atlas in the Silmarillion, which is basically the history of the world of Middle-earth, like a written history that J.R.R. Tolkien put down on paper that talks about from the inception of time to the end of time. It's literally like a Bible for Middle-earth that tells the entire history. You can't get more expanded universe than that. He's created languages, races, religions. I mean, there's so much content there that you can pull from, and it's all written, it's all complete, and it's all interwoven into one giant epic saga. So out of all of the properties that are trying for cinematic universes, this one actually makes the most sense. Now, the question of whether or not we need it.
Yeah.
Because, I am already so invested in Marvel, and now Star Wars is taking the same track. I don't know how many more cinematic universes I can keep up with because, it's going to be like WALL-E where you're just strapped into a chair and you're just being force-fed video content 24/7, which sounds like a dream, honestly, if it meant I didn't have to go to work. But
yeah, we all have jobs.
Exactly.
We got to make money.
Exactly. We got to make money to pay for the streaming services. So I don't know if we necessarily need it, but I think if done right, there is such a wealth of content there on which to base shows and TV shows and movies. I think, it could be a good idea if they approach it carefully and approach it with respect, and they really put the money into it that it needs to be great. You can't, do a budget Lord of the Rings. Just like you can't do a budget Game of Thrones or high fantasy. You You can go budget sci-fi because it's kind of quirky and charming. You know, the Star Trek doors, like a whoosh, and the cheap blaster sounds and plastic helmets and stuff like that. There's a certain charm.
Black background.
Right. But here's the thing. If you go budget fantasy, it looks like nerds in a park.
Yeah.
You know, there's a certain look and style to fantasy that you need a bit more budget for. And so I hope that they don't cheap out there. So.
All right. So there you go. Official high fantasy report there from Mikey between Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings.
You're missing out, man.
Well, one thing I'm not missing out on is the odd news, and that's our final segment, the non-fortune cookie odd news.
We've been talking about cool and its ramifications and how it applies to the hip scene. But maybe you could give us some examples now of the opposite of cool, uncool. Just exactly what is uncool?
My nipples look like milk duds.
Holy shnikes.
It's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news.
It's not of this world. I don't know exactly what it is or what it's doing, but this is not human intelligence, okay? It's not human intelligence we're facing.
How you doing? Me? I'm doing great.
Manda bastata. I don't make this stuff up.
I'll take a pound of nuts.
That's a lot of nuts! That'll be $4, baby! You want fries with that?
I seen the celery dance across the baseball fields.
You had me at Meat Tornado.
No, go past this. Past this part. In fact, never play this again.
Okay. What does that mean?
And now it's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news.
So sit back, get everything you need to get from the kitchen. Be sure and empty the bladders. Go to the bathroom because you're in for a hell of a ride.
Woo! Odd news.
That's right, everyone. It's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news. Here in this segment, Rich researches the news, he reads the news, and I react to the news. He finds a weird and wacky story and keeps it hidden from me, which ensures that all of my reactions are my genuine gut reactions to hearing the story for the very first time. I don't know what's about to happen. You guys don't know what's about to happen. And even Rich doesn't know what's about to happen because these stories always take us down wacky and wild paths. And I'm ready to get started. Are we heading to Florida?
Now, who is this guy in Florida?
It's Florida, and they're crazy.
Oh, yeah, we got to have some Florida news.
Absolutely, all the time. All right,
Yep.
So what's happening down south?
Well, you know what? I figured it's appropriate. You know, we're saying goodbye to the Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul universe. So, you know what? Why not do a story that involves some good old-fashioned meth?
You want to cook crystal meth?
I'm the cook.
And apparently there's a news development that we are not aware of. According to 31-year-old Enzo Zabala Cardozo. What a name.
Wow,
He's also reporting the news.
Okay.
Because Enzo Zabala Cardozo was arrested after cops noted that he had a glass pipe at his lips. And when they inspected it, it had traces of methamphetamine in it.
You want to cook crystal meth?
I'm the cook.
But when cops confronted him, he did not run away and proceeded to calmly answer the questions that they presented to him. At which point the police asked him, "Did you know that this drug is illegal?" And Enzo Zabala Cardozo replied, "Oh no, you're wrong, officers. Methamphetamine is 100% legal in Florida."
What? We've been criticizing these poor individuals for 400 plus episodes for smoking meth.
Oh, of course.
Wow.
That makes so much sense.
That's amazing. I had no idea.
Of course.
This is a game changer.
Oh, man.
Did you realize we're going to have no more odd news now?
Breaking news. I did not realize this. Wow.
That's amazing.
I didn't realize this.
I had no idea.
Yep. Police noted in the final report that Cardozo at one point also simply walked away and said, "I did nothing wrong.
I mean,
wow. You know what? I didn't think of this as an actual logistical step when talking to the cops.
Just what
are you talking about? I didn't do anything wrong. Bye-bye.
If you're just confident and you tell it like it is, nobody can say otherwise, right?
I have done nothing wrong, and that's the end of that chapter.
Exactly. It's just Homer saying, if I don't see it, it's not illegal.
Yep. Good night, officers.
That's right. Just walk away.
I'm just going to go on my way. Good night.
Wow.
Yeah. So just straight up telling the cops, oh, of course it's legal.
Of course.
Yeah.
Duh.
Yeah. I guess they might have played with him a little bit because the cops asked, what lawmaker are you citing?
Okay.
So, that's, why not? Play a little
right.
Get the volley back. Let's see how deep he's going to go with
the
this
cops
story.
want to do a little bit of improv with him, you know?
Yeah, right? Let's see how deep he'll go. Cardoso responded that this is the free state of Florida.
Okay. Sure.
I feel like he needs to have some sort of like patriotic music in the background or something, you know?
Now, see here, officer, this state is free.
This is the free state of Florida.
That's right, the free state.
You know what, Florida? Change your motto to that. Whatever your motto is, throw that out the window. Go with this guy, the free state of Florida.
Free state of Florida. So what else can you do in the free state of Florida?
Yeah, well, he's trying to get away with meth possession here.
You want to cook crystal meth?
I'm the cook.
Maybe he's just very disappointed that Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul has ended. So
maybe, yeah.
You know, maybe he wants to live out the fantasies and one more time just for the good times, you know?
Yeah, one last go around.
Right, we all had good times with the show.
Yeah.
You want to cook crystal meth?
I'm the cook.
Well, unfortunately, at this point, cops then notified him that, unfortunately, it is still a crime in Florida, no matter how much. Yeah, sorry. No matter how much you want to propose that it is the free state of Florida or whatever lawmaker you want to cite or whatever confidence that you have, unfortunately, it is still illegal. He was busted on a felony drug possession charge. I guess, you know what, they had enough of him because they also threw in a misdemeanor count of resisting police because I guess technically he walked away.
I mean, he did.
Look, it was part of the performance.
Yeah, I don't know if you can fault him for that.
I think you could let that one slide.
Yeah.
He's given a nice performance. He's doing improv.
Right, exactly. He's just, he's feeling out the scene.
Yeah, come on. Let him go on that one.
Come on, guys.
He was booked in the county jail on a bond of $2,150. Again, a very specific.
Got to make that extra $50.
I'm going to go with $2,000 for the possession charge and $150 for resisting police.
Sure,
but I don't know.
Maybe
that's what I'm going to go with.
I guess, yeah.
So that is a true story there. Trying to make it seem that meth was legal just by saying it.
They always say if you just act like what you're doing is correct, if you just exude that confidence, you can basically go anywhere and do anything. I think we found the limit to that, though.
Yeah, unfortunately.
The limit is meth.
Yes. Fake it till you make it doesn't apply when it comes to meth.
No.
You want to cook crystal meth?
I'm the cook.
So there you go.
He did try, though.
Good try. Good college try.
A for effort.
And I like the free state of Florida. I don't know why. That should be like the American flag in the background.
Sounds very patriotic.
Yeah.
This is the free state of Florida.
Yeah. Put that on an ad or something.
A bald eagle lands on his shoulder. There's a flag in the background. It's just beautiful.
Yeah. And put the guy throwing the Bible as the official
absolutely.
Florida image, Florida flag background or something.
That's what they should change their flag to.
Yeah.
Is that guy.
Yeah. Put that down as the I keep it as a record. Here you go, right here for the visual audience. There you go. Put this image as
it's a man in underwear on a dirt road throwing a Bible like you would a football.
With two dogs and a trailer and a house falling apart in the background.
This man is naked except for his underwear. He also has like a weird bandage on his arm or something, like a cut or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Put that as the official state flag of Florida. That sums it up.
I'd buy it.
Yep. All right, but you know what? That's not enough.
Uh-oh.
We got
a double header.
Yeah, we gotta have something else to complement this. You know, make it a full meal.
Okay.
Here in the non-fortune cookie odd news. So I found another story here, and this is interesting as well to imagine the visuals here. This one is in Maryland. So
okay, not too far.
Yeah, not too far.
Where in
you
Maryland?
Could drive,
Do we know?
This is Woodbridge.
Okay. I assume it's near a bridge made out of wood.
It is 20 miles outside of Baltimore, so that is driving distance.
That's not like impossibly far away.
Yeah, you definitely could get there from Philly. Incest.
Oh, this is going to be bad. Woodbridge is like literally 2 roads.
That's it. There's only 2 roads.
Oh, man, yeah.
Okay, there you go.
All right, go ahead.
Incensed that his pizza did not include the requested toppings, a Maryland man got into a physical assault with the employee that was cooking the pizza behind the stand in the Papa John's, according to police. Yeah, there you go. Actual audio from the fight there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How dare you not put my requested pizza toppings on my pizza?
How very dare them.
Yes.
I will never, you know that I will never fully understand why, like, a fast food order goes wrong and people's reaction is just violence.
Yeah.
Don't make me issue my ultimate force!
We have that lady at the McDonald's.
It never works out the way that you think it will.
Yep. Well, investigators say that this happened Wednesday night when 40-year-old Herbert Harris, after purchasing the pizza, drove home, then came back to the Papa John's. So he is legitimately pissed off, and he's staying pissed off.
Oh, man.
There is a significant amount of time. He went home, opened up the pizza, realized that there wasn't toppings, and then drove all the way back to confront the pizza store.
That's
here.
a lot of effort.
Yeah.
Like too much effort, okay?
Wouldn't by the time, like, you're halfway coming back, like, some of that anger would have worn off a little bit?
Yeah, especially since the closest Papa John's is, like, 20 minutes away.
Yeah.
I just looked it up. I'm really interested with these little backwoods, like, no-name towns, and it's literally one street, and the closest Papa John's is, like, a ways away. Okay.
So there's some driving here. And
there's some driving here. Like, I just looked it up, like 37 minutes. Like, he has to stay angry for more than half an hour.
Yes. And he's still pissed off. This is a sign you have anger management issues.
This cannot be made good. It's shameful. It's a shameful, shameful day.
So he said that, quote, the garlic sauce and the pepperoncinis were not included with the pizza. How dare you?
Okay.
I don't know what the pepperoncini is, but you know what? I will say the garlic sauce is banging at Papa John's.
I have not had Papa John's garlic sauce, but I like garlic. I like sauce. It sounds like something I could get behind.
I would be upset if there wasn't garlic sauce. But
would you drive 30 plus minutes to argue about sauce?
No, and I certainly want to get violent over it. Yeah. But it is pretty good. The garlic sauce is very influential.
You'd be upset but not angry.
Right. But unfortunately, not for 40-year-old Herbert Harris. He drove back to the Papa John's and started yelling at 26-year-old Papa John's cook Klein, Robert Klein. There we go. I was like, where's his first name? There it is, Robert Klein.
He doesn't have a first name. He's like a mythical creature.
He's so scared. Just, oh God, I don't know. Just put some name in there. Johnson. I don't know.
Johnson.
I don't want anybody to know. Like, please. If you forgot garlic sauce, it wasn't me, I swear. He has to go in the witness protection program after this. Oh, God. I didn't
this
mean
other
to.
guy will chase him to the ends of the earth to get his garlic sauce.
I didn't mean to forget it. Oh, my God.
If I were the man I was 5 years ago, I'd take a flamethrower to this place.
Oh, God, I'm so sorry. Please. My name's Bill. I don't know.
My name is Bill. Just give me whatever name.
Yeah, please don't find my home. That's probably a fake name on this police report.
Probably.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, so Robert Klein, that was the name of the employee. All right. So here's where things start to get interesting. Harris decided to jump over the counter and chase Klein around the back of the store.
Logical.
And then both Klein and Harris grabbed dueling pizza paddles and had a legitimate fight. So if you don't know what we're talking about, here it is. Imagine like this.
Yeah, the paddle they used to reach into the oven and grab the pizza. It's like the big flat.
They're having a sword fight over this.
Oh my God.
This is a full-blown Knights at the Round Table sword fight.
Duel of the Fates is playing.
Yeah, they're having a legitimate like sword fight with these two pizza sheets.
All of this is over garlic sauce.
Yes.
Oh, and pepperoncini. Right?
Yes. Well, Klein actually grabbed a pizza paddle that had an edge on it, which is actually called a pizza spear. Which, by the way,
that's violent.
Another band name.
Spear.
Pizza Spear. Put that down as list of great band names.
We're just coming up with all the band names.
Yep. And he actually, according to the police report, quote, stabbed Harris in self-defense.
Oh, my God. I didn't know pizza tools were that violent.
Yeah.
A pizza spear?
Yes.
Just spearing pizza.
Yep. When cops arrived, they did find that Harris had blood pouring out of the T-shirt he was wearing.
Oh, my God.
He was.
I don't want that kind of sauce on my pizza.
Yeah, this is dangerous sauce here. He was then sent to the hospital for treatment of non-life-threatening injuries. Klein is definitely off the hook because the cops are saying this is self-defense. Harris is scheduled for an appearance being charged with misdemeanor assault. So,
like, bro, it was garlic sauce.
Yeah, but this required a full-blown fight to the death with pizza utensils.
This man legit drove half an hour, leapt over the front counter, found a pizza paddle to fight the pizza cook, and then lost that fight.
Lost it.
Then was arrested.
Yes, you're right.
Like,
he lost it
over garlic sauce. Like, this is literally the plot. This is like an entire 2.5 hour like saga, like drama movie, like over garlic sauce. And then he didn't even get it.
This cannot be made good. It's shameful. It's a shameful, shameful day.
Yep. So a true story there outside of Baltimore.
I love those food anger stories.
Yeah.
Because in my mind, it's like negative effectiveness to get angry, to like storm back in there and be like, and just start like violence. Like if you just be like, hey man, you forgot my garlic sauce, they'd be like, sorry, bro, here you go.
Please don't put me in witness protection program.
Right, exactly. Don't attack me with a pizza paddle. Like it could have been that simple. But no, he had to kick it up a notch.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't muster that kind of anger over.
I want to see now.
Food.
I want to see now. Fast food witness protection program.
I feel like fast food workers absolutely need it.
Yeah.
There's some crazy people, especially when it comes to food. If you mess up food at a fast food place, I've never seen people get more irate. I mean, just like on this show, we hear how many times people like shooting up Waffle Houses because they got the syrup wrong or something.
You made me issue my ultimate form!
That lady, she didn't get her McNuggets.
Yeah, absolutely.
She's about to turn into her ultimate form.
That sounds so violent.
Yeah.
So fast food workers absolutely need witness protection program.
And if there's not one, we need to set up one.
Yes.
We need to hide loved ones and
yes, absolutely.
Foster poor victims from this horrible disease or crime sweeping through the area.
What is happening in fast food chains?
I don't know. We need to help these people.
Oh my God, they're diseased. They're being beaten.
They're being exposed to diseases. I don't know. Something. I don't know. This phenomenon that's happening.
Dangerous. We need to protect them.
Yeah. So there needs to be some sort of witness protection program.
I agree.
I'm Rich Liebig, and I approve this message.
Is that what you're campaigning on?
Yes. If I'm elected,
I will
first
protect.
thing.
I will protect your fast food workers, Pennsylvania.
The very first thing I'm doing is I'm instituting a national fast food witness protection program.
Well, you'll get the McDonald's vote easily.
Yes.
You know, I mean, after you
Dear
get McDonald's, then Wendy's and Burger King fall into line.
Dear God, please, someone help these people.
Please, you know what, Rich? It's a joke, but I think that's a pretty strong platform.
Look, this guy literally had to.
He had to cut a guy with a pizza paddle.
He literally had to participate in a sword fight with pizza utensils.
The idea of just swinging those giant pizza paddles around.
Yeah.
It's amazing. A pizza spear.
But a pizza spear. I never knew that.
It's got to be.
That's one of them. That's one of the tools.
It's real.
Yep.
Oh, wait, it's not a paddle. It's literally, it's like a fireplace poker for pizza.
That's the one that stabbed him.
So the one guy had a paddle, the other guy had a spear.
And they're fighting to the death over garlic sauce.
That's amazing.
God bless America.
The free state of Florida.
Yes. All right, and there you go. That's what I have for you in the non-fortune cookie odd news. 2 small stories, but both of them just so ridiculous. I had to mention both of them. They were just the perfect 1-2 punch for this week's non-fortune cookie odd news, and a good way to wrap up this week's episode. Because there you go. We gave you all the interesting tidbits we found this week in sports, entertainment, and odd news. And that is our job here on the Crispy Noodle Podcast. We want to give you the meal for your mind between the sports sampler, the entertainment entree, and the non-fortune cookie odd news. Hopefully you enjoyed this this wonderful 3-course meal with pizza spears. I want that to be a band name.
Pizza spear.
Pizza spear.
Yeah.
That's got to be used for something. That sounds
a good
badass.
Name. It's a good name.
Pizza spear. So put that down.
That's right, folks. If you love all the amazing content that you get here on the Crispy Noodle Podcast, like random band names, you can find us on YouTube, Spotify, as well as Facebook Live. Right?
Yep. Yeah, you got it right. Yep.
I couldn't remember the last one.
Pizza spear broke you.
I was so distracted by the pizza spears. Yeah. So plenty of ways to watch the Crispy Noodle Podcast on YouTube, Facebook, and Spotify. If you want to get in touch with us individually on Twitter to send us your sports, entertainment, or odd news stories, you can find us there. I'm at Mikey Costanzo, MikeyCostanzo.
And I am at Rich Liebig, RichLiebig. Find us on Twitter. If you have any suggestions for topics you want us to cover, or if you have an odd news story you want to send my way, feel free to do so. And if we do use it, we'll give you a sausage shout out. So make sure that if you do have an idea, send it our way. And we will take all submissions under consideration. So feel free to do so. And also, if you follow us on social media, you get to see things that we're doing in our personal lives. So if you followed my feed, you would see I was at the BMW Championship. You could have been there with me to see Rory McIlroy finish that 15th hole par 3. It was a lot of fun. So make sure you're following us on all the social media, Hullabaloo as well. But for right now, it looks like we have to wrap up the night. It is time to finish this episode of the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Let us be the Crispy Noodle in your vegetarian salad of life and boring news. That will do it. We'll see you guys next week.
See you guys
later. Bye-bye, all you fine peoples. Good night.
Some of us have great stories, pretty stories that take place at lakes with boats and friends and noodle salad. A lot of people, that's their story. Good times, noodle salad.